Welcome to the Digital Nomad on Fire YouTube channel and podcast. Here are my 5 essential digital nomad tips. Number 1, travel light, travel carry-on only. Now I've been doing this for a number of years. I've been a digital nomad on and off for 20 years before the term existed. And if there's one piece of advice I would give everyone, it's travel light. I have almost never missed something when I'm traveling. I've almost always regretted taking more than I needed to. And even on this trip, I'm currently in Portugal, even on this trip I brought a couple of things I didn't need which would have made a difference. Like a lightweight jacket I brought with me and a rain jacket, didn't need the lightweight jacket. Brought some Tom's shoes, didn't need those either. I've just been wearing flip-flops everywhere because this is a beach town and it's been too hot for a lightweight jacket. So you can always bring less and it's probably going to be fine. So that's my number 1, travel carry-on only. And of course, many airlines now charge you to check bags, so you're going to save a lot of money. You're going to also be able to check in and go through security more quickly, not have to queue up to check your bag, and when you land, you just be able to walk straight out of the airport. So enjoyable, so good, and you're saving money at the same time. So hand luggage only, can't recommend that enough. I have another video on how I pack and how I manage to travel so light. That's coming up, watch out for that one. Subscribe in order to get notified for that. Get travel credit cards and take several. And when I first started traveling, I think I only had 1 or 2 cards with me. So if I lost them, I'd have to get cards sent from home and it would just be a huge hassle. Now I'm from the UK and I'm not a huge fan of legacy banks, but the UK has a number of challenger banks that have cropped up in the last few years that are doing really cool, more modern things. Things like Revolut, which I believe is available in a number of countries now. Revolut is a prepaid MasterCard that gives you perfect exchange rates. So you can use it in pretty much any country, and the exchange rate, you won't get a fee for using it in a foreign currency, and you get a really good exchange rate. Unlike most legacy banks who have credit cards, terrible credit cards, which charge you fees, give you a terrible exchange rate, this will save me a fortune on the road. I have 2 Revolut cards. One is disabled. Again, it's very modern, so it has an app. Modern banking has an app. I can have one disabled. Now, what happened to me recently, I was in Kyrgyzstan. I lost my wallet in the airport somewhere. Couldn't find it. So I had 3 spare cards elsewhere on me. So I just got my spare Revolut card out, enabled it in the app, done. Disabled the other card in the app, done. Super simple. And the other challenger bank cards I have in the UK are Monzo and Starling, which they are actually full bank accounts, but again, they have apps. You can enable and disable the cards in the app. You get notified when you make purchases, and they offer perfect exchange rates on purchases globally. All of these cards also offer you £200 ATM withdrawals a month for free, which is about $250 US. So if you have 3 of these, between those, that's more than enough you're likely to need from an ATM. I almost never use cash anymore anyway, but that's a nice, useful thing to have. You can control the apps, you can get the PIN number out of the app. Modern banking. Just take several, a lot of countries don't have access to all of these cards, but I think most countries can get Revolut now, or even the US can get Revolut now. So just have a few of these cards on you, disable the ones you don't need, keep some in money belts, maybe even keep one in your main bag, keep it locked and disabled until you need it. So travel credit cards, using your normal legacy bank credit card or debit card from home could cost you a fortune. So it's definitely worth looking into that. So be prepared if you lose your phone or your passwords. So what would you do if you lost your phone? How would you access your banking? How would you log into your email? Are you traveling with a laptop? Can that help you out? So think about the worst case scenario. Same with the credit cards. Think about the worst case scenario. And if you lost everything, how would you get it back? I have some password hints written on a laminated card. If somebody found it, wouldn't mean anything to them. But it gives me enough information to get back into accounts I need and get back up and running if all of my stuff went. So just think about that. I mean, it may not happen, but it's worth just having a plan. Co-working spaces. Now, if you're working on the road, co-working spaces are something I've got into quite heavily recently because I've come to the conclusion over the years the most amount of work I can get done on the road if I'm just staying in hostels or even hotels, is about 4 hours a day. This is because I'm just not productive in hotel rooms. In a hostel common area, you're probably going to get disrupted. You're probably going to be having too much fun, to be honest, to get that much work done. If you're in cafes are great, but you might get chatting to someone. The cafe may close, so you have to find another cafe. The Wi-Fi may suck. All sorts of things can happen. They might just start doing a quiz in the cafe that a band might. A lot of things can slow you down. So realistically, I think I can only do about 4 hours of work a day on the road if I'm staying in hostels and I'm not going to co-working spaces. And 4 hours a day can actually be completely adequate depending on what your plan is and how much work you need to get done. I think people that work in offices, if they can get 4 hours work done a day, that's a good day. I've worked in offices, not that much, but when I do, we once spent an hour of the work day, I won't say which company this was, taking all the keys out of our friend's keyboard while he was at lunch and writing the word I'm a wanker along the top row of the keyboard. We even had to get other keyboard because we used the same letters more than once. So we had to borrow letters from other keyboards. Another one we did was in the number pad, we swapped the 1, 2, 3 and 7, 8, 9, swapped those around. That took him a while to realise what was going on there. But people aren't productive in offices. So 4 hours a day might be enough for you. But if you need to get more done than that, co-working spaces are great. There's so many good co-working spaces. Now the virus is starting to recede and we're getting back to normal. So many great options for co-working spaces, and it's a good place to meet people, good place to socialise in whichever country you're in. So if you're working on the road, co-working spaces highly recommended. And then in terms of accommodation, mixing hostel dorms, private rooms and Airbnbs is kind of where I'm at now. Now when I was a bit younger, I used to exclusively stay in hostel dorms. I was on a much tighter budget than I am now. I'm in an Airbnb in Portugal now. This place is obviously quite nice. But I've stayed in hostels when I was a bit younger. I stayed in hostels a lot more. But now staying in Airbnbs can be good because it does let you get a bit more work done. And also at the moment hostels aren't open, so you don't even have that option. Also private rooms in hostels can be great because if you want to do this socialization thing, go to the common area. If you need to get some work done or need an early night or want to chill, you've got your own room as well, but obviously that's a lot more expensive. So if you want to save money, hostel dorms are great, and I do still stay in hostel dorms a lot. Absolutely no problem with doing that, but it's good to have a mix depending on your situation. So just see what works for you. So that was the 5 essential digital nomad tips, and I will see you guys on the road.